Hi, today I hope to teach you how to run a basic machine and set it up for easy basic sewing. First thing to do, make sure your machine is plugged in. Make sure you have the right kind of plug for your machine. Plug it in. On and off power switch, very important to know where that is. The next thing we need to know is how to put the bobbin in. On this machine, it's what they call a drop-in bobbin. This bobbin, thread goes on the bottom, pulls to the right, drop it in, and then there's a tiny notch right there. I use this finger to steady or hold the bobbin, pull it through the notch, and pull it up through there. You'll feel like a tiny tug. It's all set. Push the bobbin closed, the thread hanging out is not a problem. Then we thread the machine. Machines have a horizontal or vertical spool holder. This machine is horizontal. They usually have a disc that goes on the end to keep the bobbin or the spool of thread from coming off. This one's missing. I've substituted a rubber band and it works, so we'll go with it. To thread the machine, you can do it the hard way and try to poke through the hole where this machine is designed. It clicks into place. Now it's in place. The next spot to go is right here. It goes, see right here, there's like a little notch over there. It goes through there, comes down, follow the arrows, go down and around and up. And then we have to go through the hole right there. This machine is still easily set up. I go like this. Let it go, oops. Let it go slack a little bit. Yeah. There we go, it goes down and then you pull it. If you struggle with that too much, you can put it straight through the hole. Then down through the curly part. And then another curly part. And then through the needle. Make sure the needle is in the most up position. The other thing to do is to change the needle, loosen the screw. This machine takes a needle with a flat back. So to insert the needle, make sure the flat part is in the back, put it in as high as you can, and tighten it. Then to thread it, just put the thread through the hole, and we're all set to sew. Okay, next part, sewing. To sew, there's a lever on the back that goes up and down, makes the pressure foot go up and down. It has to be in the down position in order for the sewing machine to sew. It's down position, I have my stitch length set about 2, which means it'll go a fairly small stitch. I can increase that up to 5, which is usually a basting stitch. Oops, sorry. The other thing I do, you'll notice when I'm changing the position of the fabric, I bring the needle all the way down, turning the hand wheel. That makes the needle go up and down. Lift, twist, it holds my fabric in place. If I don't, you see the needle's up position, it pulls the thread out. So we'll go back down and stitch. Okay, I'm gonna go back to about stitch length 3. This machine goes straight and zigzag only. To change the type of stitching it has, you use the stitch width at the top and the pattern selection. Stitch width, there's 5 options: straight, and then 4 different widths of zigzag. Depending what you're doing will determine which needle position. Standard position is center, but for some things it goes to the left or to the right. And you can see as I'm doing this, it moves the needle. I'll show that again. There we go. Pattern selection. There's 5 different patterns you can choose. Buttonhole or straight stitch, which we're on straight stitch for now. Standard zigzag, an invisible hem type of zigzag, a 3-point zigzag, and another type of invisible or hem stitch. The only thing you need to do to change these is decide which pattern you want and how long. Stitch length is how far it is from front to back of the stitch. So if I go like this and I change it to zigzag, I'll go to widest zigzag. Okay, we'll go like this and go like this. Widest zigzag. And as I go to number 5 to increase the stitch length, you'll see how wide that became. Or I can reduce the length. We'll go down to number 1. See the width? And down to 0. We'll make it for an outline for a column or any kind of decorative stitching you might wish to do. That's the very basics in how to run the machine. In order to keep the machine running, there are a few things you need to know. I've shown you how to thread the machine, and I showed you how to insert the bobbin. What I'm going to show you now is on the back of here. Can you show this, Sophie? There's a little notch thing in the back there, and it'll break your thread. Make sure it's plenty long, several inches. Otherwise, when you go to stitch, it'll unthread the needle. What do you do when your bobbin runs out? You want to keep sewing. Get a bobbin. Each machine has its own bobbin. So what you're going to need to do is find out, if you buy extra bobbins, find out the bobbin designed for your machine. This one uses a clear plastic, very easy. To wind a bobbin for this machine, unthread the needle, bring it around the disc here. It just goes under there, it gives it a little bit of tension, and then you pull it. You can put it through, there's little holes in there. I find that very hard. So what I do is I go like this, wrap it around a few times myself, bring it over here, and then we press on this machine. You press that and it makes the bobbin spin. Other machines may have a knob that needs to be dialed. This one gets pressed. Step on the bobbin winder. See, you saw I fed it a little bit, and it's still in the bobbin. If you let it wind, when it gets wound all the way, it only takes a few moments. You'll see it's getting full. And then it pops over that way, and you pull it off. And then you have a perfectly full bobbin to put in your machine. Remember, like this, thread on the bottom. Other machines may have a bit differently, but and then you thread the machine again. Very easy. Make sure you put it. There we go. Through the needle. Oops, I forgot to go through one of the thread guides. Not a problem. And then you're ready to go. I have it on straight stitch again. And it sews. Now, locking your stitch is important. I forgot to show you how to lock your stitch. The best way to lock your stitch is to reverse a couple of times. This machine reverses. You'll see a button on the front that says reverse stitch. I go like this. That'll lock your stitch. Go back and forth a few times. It also works really well if you have limited space, but you want to go back to the other side of the fabric. So you can sit and hold and go down. Just takes practice. Practice, 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 and have fun. I hope this video helps you.